In this video, we're going to talk about the box method of division. There's our objective. So, vocabulary. Let's talk about the parts of a division problem because I will be using these terms. Right? So, the number that is being divided is the dividend. We divide that by the divisor, and the answer that we get is called the quotient. So, to write it as a sentence, looks like dividend divided by divisor equals quotient. So let's dive in. Example number 1. But before I start, I want you to notice something. Okay, what we've done is we've created boxes for each digit of our dividend. All right, so we have a thousands block, we have a hundreds block, a tens block. Or I don't know why I'm saying block. I guess I should say box, right? And then a ones box. All right, we're going to find the secret to success. This is true for any division problem. Remember, that's the multiples of the divisor, also known as compatible numbers. So all of these numbers work really well with 7. Step 2, we're going to divide the greatest place by the divisor. And if it's less, then we will trade it to the next box and we'll divide. This is very similar to traditional division. All right, so let's look at the thousands place, which is the 6. We cannot divide 6 by 7. It's too small. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move it over into the next box. Really what we're doing is we're trading 6 thousands for some hundreds. And so now they're in the hundreds box. All right, so now we're going to choose a number from the secret to success. So we need something that comes closest to 61. We can't go over because we're going to subtract. 63 is too big. Let's go with 56. All right, that's the number that we're going to subtract. Okay, but we also need to remember, how did we get 56? We don't want to not put anything in our quotient. So when I put 56, I also need to count down and figure out 7 times what is 56? Well, 7 times 8. It's the 8th one down, so let's make sure we put our answer up above. 8 times 7 is 56. All right, let's subtract. We get 5. So after subtracting, we are going to trade that remainder. So those are leftover hundreds, and we're going to trade them into the tens box. All right, so we're just going to move them over. So 5 hundreds becomes 50 tens. All right. So now we start over, basically, right? We're going to repeat the steps. So the number that comes closest to 55 is 49. 7 times 7 is 49. And we subtract and get 6. Now we need to trade it. So 6 tens will become 60 ones. We'll put it right next to the 3. Now we have 63 ones. I think if we look over to our secret to success, we'll find 63 over there. All right, so let's repeat. 7 times. 7 will go into 63, or I should say it another way. 63 is can be divided by 7 9 times. And we get a remainder of 0, which hopefully we will. That's nice. So there's our answer, 879. Notice, very important, that all the numbers that we subtracted came from the secret to success. 56, 49, 63. You'll never subtract anything that's not on your list. And the numbers that are in our quotient, the digits that are in our quotient, they also come from the secret to success. We can either count down 8 times, we can count down 7 times, we can count down 9 times, or we can look at the little multiplication problems off to the side. All right, so example 2. I've already found the secret to success for 5. So let's go through these steps. 7 is larger than 5, so it looks like we're going to be able to divide the thousands place. So which number from our secret to success, which compatible number comes closest to 7 without going over? Sure, 5, 1 time, right? So we will subtract. When we subtract, we'll get 2. What do we do with the 2? We have 2 thousands left over, what are we going to do with them? Well, we need to trade them into the hundreds column. All right, so the main difference between the box method and traditional method is we don't bring down, we bring up. All right, we just bring up into the next box. It represents a place value. So 2000s becomes 20 hundreds. And then 20 next to the 2 gives us 2200s. All right, so let's divide again. So what number from our secret to success comes closest to 22? And how many times is that? 5 times what equals that number? And we can just count down to it. 20. 20 comes closest, that's 4 times. We subtract, we get 2. 2 hundredths will be traded for 20 tens. And when we put 20 tens in the tens box, we get 28 because there was already 8 sitting there. So which secret to success, which compatible number comes closest to 28 without going over? 25 does. So 5 times 5 is 25. We will subtract, get 3. We'll now trade the 3 tens for 30 ones. And when we move it over into the ones box, we'll add it with whatever's there, which is 0, so we have 30 ones. So, which number from our secret to success comes closest to 30 without going over? I think we can see it's exactly 30. That is 6 times. We get a remainder of 0, we can stop, right? So our answer would be 1,456. Now, let me back up here and just point out again that all the numbers that we subtract come from our secret to success. 5, 20, 25, 30, those are all on the list. 1, 4, 5, 6, those are all the numbers that we multiplied over here on the left to get our secret to success. Right? So the only numbers that you will be using come from the secret to success. And then any number that is subtracted just gets brought up. So let me point out again, I mentioned it earlier, that these two methods are very similar. All right, the only difference is that instead of bringing down like I've done over here on the right, we bring up like I've done over on the left. I also think that because it takes up less space, it keeps you organized. You can just do one box at a time, one column at a time. Okay, you don't have to worry about bringing down and figuring out where you are and that sort of thing. So I think it really helps with those that struggle. You might want to give it a shot. So the secret to success will help you with all division problems. Make sure that you do that. You will begin with the 1 or 2 digits of the dividend. Okay, you're never going to divide into the whole dividend all at once. The secret to success is very important. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are counting it correctly if you need to count. It's possible to trade 1 or 2 digits into the next column, depending on what you get when you subtract. And the numbers that you'll use come from the secret to success, which I've mentioned a couple of times. So keep that in mind.